Boys, happy 5th of July.
That's right. Big holiday. 5th of July, boys.
Yeah.
Time to turn the calendar.
That's right. 5th of July. It's one of those holidays people forget about, I think.
They do.
It's actually probably like the most requested holiday of any other day, like of the year. That's not a holiday. I can't tell you how many times every year I hear people say like, it is ridiculous that I have to go into work the day after 4th of July, because I mean, it's a holiday built around partying, right? We shoot fire into the sky, for God's sakes. And then we have to go to work the next day. Come on.
See?
It's even worse because like we've had it kind of nice the last couple of years where 4th of July has been Friday or Saturday or Sunday, and it's like built into the weekend. And so you have like the day off before already, or you have the day off after already. This year, like you said, Chris, you don't have the day. Everybody doesn't have the day off, but it is built into the weekend. It was the long weekend, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday into Monday being off. Next year, forget it. It goes back to being sucky, where like you go to work on Monday, you have off for the 4th, and then you go back on Wednesday. So it's an unfortunate streak coming to an end. It really is.
Very true. Well, boys, that went longer than I thought it would go. But my first question for the show is, what setting on the hose do you like the most? Chris is going to throw up a graphic right now. And the reason we're talking about this is because whenever Kanye talks about something, the Brunch Breakdown has to weigh in on it. And Kanye hasn't said anything on social media for months. And he commented under this post of just a picture of different hose settings. And he says he's a mist setting. I love Kanye, man. I don't know what's going on here, but what hose setting do you guys like? I feel like this is a little controversial thing.
Yeah, this is niche. But I feel like anybody who owns a home or like has lived in a home probably has an opinion on this.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to go. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm not going to just go ahead and announce mine just yet, but I will say if either of you pick Soaker, we're no longer friends. Because that one looks ridiculous.
Go
ahead, Didi.
I'm a big shower guy. I like the shower because I power wash my house. Well, don't tell anyone in California, you're not really supposed to do that because of drought and everything, but I still do it. Anyways, and the shower setting seems to get a lot more dirt off my house, or at least it looks cool because it makes me look like I'm doing something because it just flows down. So I'm shower guy.
Yeah, Soaker is just a completely useless setting.
It's altogether. Like Soaker looks like that setting where it's like if you turn it, but like not to all the way to the next click, you like kind of put it in between, and then it just gurgles because it doesn't know where it's supposed to go.
It shouldn't even be Soaker. It should be gurgle because that's exactly how it sounds and looks. I'm a center guy. I'm a center guy. I like the center because it accomplishes what Didi's setting does with the shower, where you get a pretty good area covered, but you get a little more oomph behind it. I go between center and shower, but usually I'm gonna need a little bit more power, a little more oomph, and so the center gives me that while still giving me a pretty wide angle to attack, even if it's a simple. You got to go a long distance for, watering the grass, or you're trying to get some dirt off some stuff. Center's my go-to, man. I gotta go center.
Now, Dan, you kind of alluded to where I want to go. I want to dig a little deeper here, okay? Because I think we're missing a lot of context. What is your favorite garden hose setting for X? For what? Because if I'm washing the car or watering the flowers, we're using two different settings here. I'm not going straight up jet on the daffodils. That's ridiculous. But you may go straight up jet if you got a, really power wash some dirt off of the tires of your car or something like that, and the wheel wells. Like, you got to get in there. You got to make it happen. So I am going to pick two. I am a predominantly center washing the car, and I'm more leaning towards shower for the garden things, right? The
Softer
flowers,
activities,
the grass, all that type of stuff. So for me, it depends. It depends. I thought long and hard about this, and those are my choices.
Nice. I see. Center's so intense. We're doing a lot of things unless you're like filling up a baby pool or filling up a bucket or something. That's what center's for. Like, to me, center's for nothing other than filling things up.
Center's for long range activities. Long range activity. That's what I think center is for. Long range and a little bit of power.
When you're pissed at your neighbors, is that what that's for?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what you use center for.
The more we talk about this, the more I feel like we're also describing like what golf club we'd choose based on the shot. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like,
That's
Jet
true.
is your driver. Mist might be sand wedge. Cone might be like a nice 7-iron if you got to get something out of the thick rough. I still don't know what the hell soaker is, but I'm seeing some parallels here.
Have you guys ever used the flat setting? What are people using flat for?
I don't know, because it's not like a circular. It's almost like a widescreen type of.
Yeah. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
It's funny. The flat setting is on my power washer, and the flat setting is on my paint sprayer. The flat setting on the paint sprayer is fire.
Yeah.
The hose, I don't really understand what that is even for. Like, I've used it, but like I don't use it that much. It just is kind of a waste. Maybe it gets in between stuff. I don't know. I never used the setting. I just used it like one time and I was like, this is dumb.
Yeah. Are you surprised if you didn't know what Kanye's pick was ahead of time and you had to guess? Would you have leaned Mist? Because that's what his choice is here. Is he digs the Mist?
Yes, because I feel like the only time somebody who has been as rich as Kanye has been for, I don't know, 20 years or so, the only time he picks up a hose is when his children are at the house, and the Mist setting is perfect for children.
Yeah. That's a good point. He probably is not a whole lot, not very aware of these other settings.
Yeah, like Kanye has no idea that there's other settings. Like, one of his kids probably
just
in the Mist setting, and he was like, "Oh, a hose. That's cool."
Incredible invention.
Well, thank you, Kanye, for the first question of the Brunch Breakdown. And this is the Brunch Breakdown. It's Didi out here in Las Vegas, and Chris and Dan are in Pittsburgh today on the show. It's all things sports. Yeah, you thought you were not getting sports. No, you're getting all the sports. Hose, that I don't know. Is there like an ultimate hose championship? Google that. We'll figure it out. There might be. Well, today on the show, we're going to be talking all things sports. College football is kind of blowing up right in front of our eyes, and we're going to talk about that. And Joey Chestnut winning his 15th hot dog eating championship. We'll talk about that too. Plus music, plus beer, and more. Dan, tell everybody where they can find the Brunch Breakdown.
You can find the Brunch Breakdown everywhere that you can find podcasts. It's that simple. Apple, Spotify, Google, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Audible, wherever you listen to podcasts. You, my friend, you can find the Brunch Breakdown. New episodes each and every Wednesday. Hit follow, hit subscribe. Those episodes will come right to you whenever you want them. We also have full video episodes, so you could just witness what we just went through there. The hose graphic. You've got to see it in person. You really got to see it for yourself. So the full video is also available every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern is when those debut on our YouTube page and on our Facebook page. Of course, available on demand anytime you want to watch after that. And of course, we're everywhere on social media as well. Simply search at Brunch Breakdown. You follow us, we follow you back. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Triller, TikTok. And last but certainly not least, the Sounds of Brunch double stuffed podcast or double stuffed music Spotify playlist exclusively on Spotify. Easy for me to say. double stuff now, 2 weeks worth. So if you missed last week's playlist, you're playing a little catch up, those will still be there and will include this week's as well. That gets updated each and every Friday exclusively on Spotify.
I love it. I love it. Let's get into it, guys. Get it off your chest. Chris, get it off your chest, sir.
Well, given that this is sports brunch, I just thought that I would share a quick interaction that I had with a neighbor, which is the most interaction I've personally had with baseball so far this summer. Was about to leave for a trip to the lake with my family for the 4th of July, loading up the back of the car. Neighbor of mine, very friendly guy, walking down the street with his dog, stops by. We chat for a little bit and talk about how he was just at the Pirate game the night before. It was a fireworks night. And he said this is why I'm bringing this up. It was so sad and remarkably so accurate to describe the way we even think about baseball in Pittsburgh these days. He described the game as a beautiful time. We lost 19-2.
Yes.
Okay. So those two things don't go together. He then followed it up.
He's missing.
Yeah. He then followed it up and said, the only thing that was bad was that the Brewers had a no-hitter going and we, the Pirates, ruined it. A Pirate fan said that. Other than that, it was a beautiful time. That is the most interaction I've had with baseball so far this year. And that is why it is the most interaction I've had with baseball this year. Later, we're going to talk about college sports and I'll probably go off on a tangent about losing fans. The Pirates are an example of what could happen, people. We need to stop this madness. But yeah, that's your Pittsburgh baseball update for June 5th.
Beautiful. I love it. Thanks, guy. Now let's go to Dan. Get it off your chest.
I'm going to do a real quick piggyback off of Chris's get it off your chest, since we're not really planning on talking baseball here. I absolutely have and always will, and reconfirmed again today, hate the New York Yankees and everything they stand for. Downtown Pittsburgh is an absolute circus right now because the Yankees are in town for the first time in who cares how many years. And the people come out, whether they're from Pittsburgh, they're bandwagon fans, or they're coming in from New York to visit the ballpark. I totally understand that, but get the hell out my way. I hate it. I hate it. And it's the only time where there's excitement around the ballpark is when Pinstripes and Red Sox and other teams come to town, and it's infuriating. But anyways, not what I wanted to talk about here today. What I do want to get off my chest is it is sports related, and I have a real beef, as most people do, but I have a recent beef with ESPN. And we're going to talk Joey Chestnut here in just a few moments. And yes, I'm going to connect the dots here. Let's talk ESPN and their coverage of the Nathan's Famous hot dog eating contest. If you recall, gentlemen, last year, the ESPN feed cut out in the middle of the contest. And it was just blotchy, satellite images with no audio for minutes. The bulk of the contest was lost on TV everywhere around the country. Nobody saw it. I had a real beef with it at the time, pun fully intended. And I'm pretty sure that was my get it off my chest segment 52 weeks ago was ESPN for their horrendous coverage, and they couldn't get back on the air for the hot dog eating contest. This year, my problem is the network, the channel that they decided to broadcast the Nathan's Famous hot dog eating contest on. Not ABC, not ESPN, not ESPN2, but ESPN News was the channel that they chose to broadcast the once a year America's holiday contest. The Nathan's hot dog eating contest was on ESPN News. Why? Because they were showing coverage of Wimbledon. Let's think about this. Let's think about this. On the 4th of July, we're using all of ESPN's major networks to show a tennis match happening across the pond, whom we are celebrating our independence from. like, are you saying it's 1 hour? It's 1 hour once a year. Do you think England is interrupting the fish and chips championships to show US Open tennis over here? Hell no. So absolutely no reason. Brady in the Super Bowl, Jordan in the finals, Tiger on Sunday at Augusta, not being shown on ESPN News, ladies and gentlemen. You show Joey Chestnut that respect he deserves. Get him back on the major network. Ridiculous.
I was with you until you rattled those names off. And that's no disrespect to Joey Chestnut, but
same company.
I did not know that. I did not know about ESPN News. Sadly, I missed it, but it sounds like even if I had been home, I know I don't get ESPN News, so I wouldn't have been able to watch it.
Dude, I'll be honest. I didn't know that ESPN News was still a channel. I know that ESPN got like, I did not know that until yesterday because I was like looking for it because I thought it was going to be on ABC. When on ABC with ESPN, I'm like, God, Wimbledon. And then I thought about just summer and just how awful it would be to work, how awful it is to work in sports in the summer because it's just like Wimbledon on both channels. ESPN and ESPN2. And then I like Googled it and it was like ESPN News. And then I was like, oh, I guess I have this in my hotel room because I'm pretty sure I know I don't get ESPN News at home. I swear it's not even there on DirecTV. So like I didn't even know it was a channel still. So I feel your pain.
It's complete and utter disrespect. And like you can't compare ratings from year to year when you throw it on ESPN News, and half the country, including you two, can't even get that channel. So we'll get into Joey a little bit more here in a few moments, but that's just ESPN. I've had it with you. Didi, what's on your mind?
It's actually ESPN related. So it's actually
beautiful.
ESPN. And I want to give a huge shout out to ESPN and whoever they are letting run certain like the weekends on these channels, because all of a sudden ESPN is starting to look like it did when we were younger. And that's with And One. All of a sudden, ever since the 30 for 30 came out, they're showing that a little bit on ESPN2. I watched World Championship Tag and it's the most amazing sport in the world. Like better than anything that we love. It's better than that. Like it's unbelievable. World Championship Tag is. And they had that on there. They had the Cornhole Championships. That's kind of boring, but still it was just like weird stuff. And I was just like, bring back World's Strongest Man. Let's go. There's not that much sports to talk about. We don't need to watch NFL Live 20 times a day or NBA Today a million times. We don't need to do it. Start putting on weird stuff at 3:00, then go to SportsCenter at 6, then after 11, nothing's going on. Put on the weird stuff. ESPN, I see you starting to do that a little bit, and I am applauding you. I hope that person hasn't gotten fired already because he might be sneaking this stuff in and just seeing who's going to pay attention. But I am absolutely loving the fact that weird sports are showing back up on ESPN on the weekends and sometimes during the week. So shouts to ESPN.
Nice. I want more beach roller hockey. You remember that?
Yes.
Yep.
Pro beach hockey. Let's go.
That was the best.
I loved that. They had a 2-point line.
Yeah.
And they had ramps at the end behind.
Dan, that sport was designed for your slap shot.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Dan has this slap shot for anybody listening where he would just like, basically you hold a hockey stick with your hands separated, and Dan would bring his hands together near the top of the stick, and he called it his golf shot because he would just slap the shit out of the puck. And I mean, it went just as fast, if not faster, as a normal slap shot. It was unbelievable. And that 2-point line had Steel City Dan written all over it.
It really did. Some snipes from the blue line. Those suckers went in. So those were the 2-pointers. I was all about pro beach hockey. Yeah. And they had the ramps behind the net. It was rounded behind. Oh, more of that. I'm with you there.
See, this is what we need, guys. I think the 24-hour news cycle thing, it's old now. We did it. It's done. Now go back to where it used to be. We have SportsCenter at certain times. You get your little shows in there, but then there's dead space put some weird stuff in there. I want it back. I know
Weird
they're still
stuff.
doing World's
Yeah.
Strongest Man competitions. They're just not televised. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
There's more than enough. There's more sports channels than there ever has been in the history of television.
Yeah.
You can start to cover those other things and
Yeah.
put Joey Chestnut back on national TV. Thank you.
Exactly. We need some of those preliminary hot dog eating championships.
Yeah. They have qualifiers all around the country. Let's go.
Oh my God. All right. Well, let's get into the main course here. Should we start
Hey,
with Joey Chestnut?
listen. Just because the two of you aren't drinking doesn't mean I'm not.
Oh, shoot.
Just pass up Brews Day because you're both.
Oh my God. I completely forgot. I am so sorry to all the listeners and Dan. It's Brews Day.
I have
Chris,
a beer.
What are you sipping on?
I have a
look
beer
at that.
today.
See, I was like, oh,
No, and I have one written down. I can't drink. Obviously, I'm in the middle
Okay.
of a work day. But yeah, I have one written down. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Dan.
Okay.
Chris,
yeah, I was
what are you
like,
drinking?
Didi's working. Chris is having lemonade. I was just like, all right, I'll just drink by myself. This is fascinating. This is good. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, no,
My apologies.
I'm starting to think like basically every time I've been in a calorie deficit over the past 2 to 3 years, and I talk about it on this podcast, our good friend Ryan then mails me low calorie beer. So I'm starting to think I should just always be in a calorie deficit. I think I should always be dieting. That's not something that I recommend people do, but I mean, it's working out really well for me. Our friend Ryan, shout out to him, sent me some of the low calorie, crush-worthy Great Lakes Brewing Company beers. Today, I'm having the low calorie grapefruit edition, and it's delightful. And I'll tell you this, I'm not a huge fan of wheat beers, generally speaking, but the low cal ones are like a little bit of wheat, but not like, I don't know. Have you guys experienced this? Like some wheat beers, the consistency of it, because it's so wheaty, it's like, it's too much for me.
Yeah.
But these are just the right amount of goodness. Very tasty. Got it just in time to go to the lake this past weekend. So thank you, Ryan. And I'm enjoying one here today on the podcast because it's only 105 calories. So let's go.
Nice.
Delish.
That actually sounds good. I'm surprised.
I've heard multiple good things about that line, that line from Great Lakes. So glad to have it reaffirmed. That sounds good. That's perfect summertime beer.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I don't have a beer with me right now, but it's a beer I had yesterday. It's from Trustworthy Brewing, and Trustworthy Brewing Company is the first and only fully run brewery that's on the Las Vegas Strip. So there are other breweries on the Las Vegas Strip, but they don't brew the beer there. It goes in they bring it in somewhere else that's in Vegas. So it's the only one. And I had the showroom ready IPA. And here's the description for this. I'll read a little bit of it for you. It's always exciting to drive a brand new car, and this hazy doesn't disappoint. It's got peaches, it's got mangoes. It is amazing. And it's just super good. 7.4 APV. And it's just freaking good. So shouts to Trustworthy Brewing. Shouts to me for giving you guys a little history lesson. And I'm definitely trying more beers as I'm still going to be in Vegas for like a week. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Only brewery where it's not just a tap room. They're actually brewing on site on the strip.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's the only one because there's a bunch because as the years have gone along, craft breweries become such a big deal. But yeah, there's a lot of tap rooms, but this is the only one that is fully run that's on the strip. Yeah.
Nice.
I dig it. All right. Solid. So where's it? Ballpark of what it's near? Hotel casinos near? Is it which end?
It is near because I'm at the Venetian. It's near here, so it's like near the it's not center strip, but like close to that because Planet Hollywood center strip, so it's probably I don't know, maybe a half a mile from there.
Yeah. Okay.
Something like that.
Cool.
So yeah. There you
Nice. All right. Good stuff. Steve, we almost missed all this. This is good. Well, boys, I drank, it was hot over the weekend. A lot of places it was hot here in Western Pennsylvania. So a lot of IPAs, a lot of sours, a lot of crushable beers, a lot of light beers, stuff like that. So I need to go the complete opposite direction because it was also a nice weekend for a little campfire and some s'mores, if you will. And so happen to have a stout here that's a little s'mores like. This is from Civil Society and Collective Arts, and this is their Origin of Darkness series. This is to celebrate America, a Canadian whiskey barrel-aged imperial stout with, you guessed it, Chris, marshmallows, cocoa, and cinnamon, because we haven't had marshmallows on the pod in a while. They've got Collective Arts is known for the artwork around the can. This is actually done by an artist from Columbus, Ohio, but the brewery located in Canada, and this is a series. And luckily, this is a 12-ounce can because she's a little heavy, she's a little thick, but she's pretty delicious. Lots of marshmallow, lots of cocoa, just the right amount of cinnamon, not too much. Sometimes cinnamon can get a little, more on the spice side of things. You overdo it there, but Origin of Darkness, delicious here. So enjoying this. Well, I had to go a little heavier. Too much of that light stuff all weekend.
I like it. And because of the Yankees fans in your way.
Ah. Yankees are back.
Well, cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Well, let's get into the main course now. We can get into the main course. My apologies for messing that up a little bit. Well, USC and UCLA going to the Big Ten. Chris, your thoughts, your feelings. Let's go to you first.
I don't know. Oh my God. I don't know.
I was going to cry. I didn't know this was going to happen.
No, I just have so many thoughts and feelings on this topic, and not like virtually none of them are good. So I'm almost more interested in hearing what you guys have to think first, and then like I'll react to it. Because if you just let me go, I will have no direction for the next 20 minutes.
It sounds like you've got your hose on the soaker setting and you're like, I don't think this is a good idea. And you're looking around and you're like, someone else needs to pick a direction first for the hose championships, or else I'm going to be gargling away.
Well, the Pac-12 is essentially, it's the soaker. It is
the soaker.
There are schools just gurgling out of it and going God knows where. And it's just not good. It's not good. Yeah. What you got? Yeah. What was your initial reaction when you heard the news?
Shit. Yeah, not pleased. Because you knew this day was coming, right? Not necessarily you knew that USC and UCLA were going to move to the Big Ten, right? But it's been talked for years. We've even talked about it on this podcast, where these major conferences are going to go away and there's going to be only a few of them, right? They're going to have their own playoff, their own everything. And we knew it was just a matter of time. They talked about how college football has to let the playoff contract run out before they expand it. Obviously, we're expanding it. And you just knew this is down the road. This was the path we were taking. But I certainly didn't expect it to happen as quickly as it did, and as quickly as it's going to happen. Like, this isn't a plan for 5 years down the road, 4 years down the road. This is happening really quickly. And two schools who can't stand each other are teaming up. And this is the first time where we've had schools join conferences where geographically it doesn't make a ton of sense, right? But like Oklahoma in the SEC, that's not across the freaking country. This is across the country. Like, all borders just completely lost. And the Pac-10, the Pac-12 has always been a shit show, but they are the complete soaker now. And I can't believe we're moving as quickly as we are with these conferences. The big just keep getting bigger. The rich keep getting richer. And I'm not ready for it. That's what I got to say, is I am not ready for it.
When this went down, the first thing I thought was, oh, wow, like, that sucks for you, UCLA and USC, because friggin', I'll tell you, you know what sucks? West Virginia versus whatever team they're playing across the country. Like, you have no fun. You have no rivalries anymore. Like, it's done. You're just playing games because it'll be cool the first year. So you think about it, like with the fans, they'll be like, oh man, we get to go to Ohio State. We get to go to Penn State. We get to go to these schools that you hear about, Wisconsin, whatever. But then that goes away. So after you take those road trips or fly across the country to those places, it's done. So it's like West Virginia's been in the Big 12 now for 10 years now or something like that. It's close to that. And I don't care when they play Texas or any of these schools. I don't care. Like people who are diehard WVU fans, they try to make these things sound like the rivalries, but no, they're not. They're not rivalries. So it just sucks for them. And it's like we're seeing it. College football's done. And it kind of started when the playoffs started, because then everybody cared about the playoffs so much. It was all about the playoff, and it didn't matter about bowl games anymore. And we've just been slowly taking away everything that college football is about, which really has little to do with records of your teams, if your teams can win championships. And once that all just goes away, now we've got super conferences, and I don't know where the hell college football goes from here, but it's not good.
Like, are you guys ready for UCLA at Northwestern at noon on the Big Ten Network?
Which is 10 a.m. Pacific time for all 7,000 UCLA fans. That
is everybody ready for that? Because that's exactly what Dee is exactly what you're talking about, because that's the future of it. Yeah. Like, college football is so much about tradition, and now it's like just the school tradition. It's just what you do within the game. You're like the pregame, during the game, like that's it. The rest of it is like, we have enough exciting non-conference stuff going on so you can have those exciting things, but still keep your rivalries. You know how long it takes to build a rivalry? I know you're gonna be flying across country. It's just, Chris, open up the soda, baby.
Yeah, I just, it's interesting, Dee, that you said that, because I saw some other people, some other West Virginia fans basically sharing the same thing. They were like, the first year or two, I remember we had Baylor for that first game at home, and it was like the biggest thing, so much build up and anticipation for it. And then this person was like, as a freshman, and they're like, by my time I was a senior, I couldn't care less that we were playing Baylor, so that's how it is. And the first time USC goes to the big house as a Big Ten member, it's going to be a big deal. But for the vast majority of those games, it's probably going to be the same situation. And I can't help but think, I know that nobody knows how this is going to play out long term. I think everybody is accepting the fact that there's probably just going to be two big conferences, and who's in them is anybody's guess. But the chances are that the vast majority of the teams that are in P5, so Power 5, ACC, Big 12, Pac-12, Big 10, SEC, are actually not going to be part of those conferences. So the way I see this happening is actually if you look 10, 15, 20 years down the road, I actually think this thing fails. I really do, because to what both you guys said, college football is largely about the tradition and the rivalries and the things that people actually care about. And it's different, man. It's different than living in a city that has a pro team, and so you're a fan of that team. People are fans of college football teams because you spent part of your life at that place. Most people, there are bandwagon fans everywhere, but most people spent part of their life at that place. And that's why that team means so much to them. So if you take all that away, then you're in these conferences and it's the Big Ten and the SEC. But then this is all about money. This is about creating a TV product. So as time goes along, those big programs, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, USC, are not going to be happy with the fact that they have to share part of their $100 million with Rutgers or with Maryland. In the SEC, they're going to realize that Vanderbilt is dead weight, and we could all make more money if this team wasn't in the conference. And then I see those super conferences just getting smaller to the point that you have 20 teams. You have 20 schools in a super conference model, and it totally cuts off the vast majority of the country, when college football is interesting to people because every community in the country is somehow represented. Even if, and I think 95% of schools know, and the fans of those schools know, you don't have a realistic shot of making the national championship game. Like, it's just not going to happen. As a Pitt fan, that is never my expectation. West Virginia, same thing. Like, you don't expect that, but you know you're part of it. And so that's helpful. And that makes you want to follow the other teams and see what's going on, because maybe you end up having a magical year like Pitt did last year. And you're, flirting with the top 10, at one point flirting with the playoff, and you get to talk about all these things, watch what's happening in the rankings and see what happens with other teams. That's not going to exist as this gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And so I feel like, as much as I hate to say it, like I know Pitt's not going to be part of whatever that is. My team, Didi, your team, our schools don't make people money. We just don't. And I'm slowly accepting the fact that, like, if this all happens and it means actually the vast majority of college football as we know it right now ends up in some different format, and like we can get back to Pitt playing West Virginia and Cincinnati and Boston College and all these schools that we have relationships with, then like I'm fine with it. If they call that the Division 1B national champion, like I don't care, man. Like it's got to be about why you're interested in the sport to begin with. And I'm not interested in the sport to see like the best possible TV product that we can make. That's not, I don't care about it. So I don't know. It sucks. Everything is going in the opposite direction of what it should. And I think like Didi, your other team, Notre Dame, I think if they choose to join one of these conferences, then it's officially over, because that's the last school that they're to everyone's annoyance. Notre Dame holds on to tradition more than everybody else. And if they say, screw it, then it's like, okay, it's over. Everything's over.
Yeah, because for Notre Dame, I'm wondering what this is close to it. Because when Texas and Oklahoma and they were like, we're going to the SEC, I was like, Notre Dame might be thinking about it. But now USC and UCLA are literally going across the goddamn country to be in the Big Ten. Notre Dame's got to be like, all right, let's see where these things fall. It'll be, because they are the last ship. If they join one of these things, it's done. Like start calling it the minor league or whatever you want to call it. Like, I don't know, NFL 2, whatever, but that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We're going to have a mess on our hands. It'll be interesting, Chris. You saying that you think it's going to fail. I don't know if I should be like, I kind of want to be rooting for that. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm afraid that too big, too quick. It's just all going to implode upon itself. It will. It's just, I think, happening a lot quicker than at least I anticipated, but it's not why we had it. The good old Big East days. like
I've seen some Pitt fans saying like, well, Pitt should be pitching themselves to the SEC because like that's a market up north that the SEC doesn't have. And like, that's correct. But as a Pitt fan, like getting $50 million more a year for the athletic department is less attractive to me, because I know we'd be going 6-6 at best every year. And that's not that's what most of these teams are signing up for, to be in the super conference. Like Rutgers, I'm not going to sign up to be Rutgers.
Yeah.
And the other thing with the money is the thing that nobody ever thinks about is what happens to the other sports at that school. I'm not talking about men's basketball. I'm not even talking about women's basketball, but the other, what they call Olympic sports, is those need funding, period. Athletic departments don't make money. There's less than 10 in the country that actually make a profit. They don't make money. They have to fund all of those sports. And so you think UCLA's lacrosse team now has to fly across the country if they're going to move those sports into the Big Ten too, depending on what happens with the Big 12, right? Some schools do split conferences depending on the sport that they're in, but the way that the Pac-12 is going, there's not going to be anything left in a couple of years. So that money isn't just all profit. Now you have to fund these other sports or they go away. And that's the worst possible option. So I hope that's all considered in these factors. because those teams and sports are going to need funding if you're going to make them travel all the way around the country to these conferences and teams they're not familiar with and probably spend more money. So with that revenue comes a lot more cost. And I just hope it's all considered and people don't forget that.
Like making the women's field hockey team at UCLA fly to Piscataway, New Jersey on a Tuesday night to play a game is utterly ridiculous.
Yes.
And like
in front of like 6 people, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like
you know what I'm saying? Like,
because those teams aren't going to be like,
like,
oh, UCLA's coming to town. Like, oh.
Yeah. Because let's be honest, like I'm not trying to rip the Olympic sports, but like, yeah, I understand at some schools people go to whatever that one sport is that may be random or something that people in, because they're like, we have good players in this, we're good at that. But like for the most part, at those games, like, and I covered women's soccer at WVU, and I can tell you, all those games ain't packed. The Pitt game's packed. Some of the other ones packed. If they have a good season, maybe it'll be a little crowded, but I can tell you, like, they're traveling across the country to go play in front of like 3 people. And like, those are men's sports, women's sports, that's all those sports. And I just think that is like the craziest part of all this. When you're traveling for football, it's a whole different situation. I mean, 100,000 people at the big house, at Penn State, Ohio State, all that stuff, right? But like, for all those other sports, that ain't it.
Yeah. And football is almost always on a weekend. So like, I know people may roll their eyes at this, but like the field hockey team probably has assignments due.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
for real.
Yeah. You're right.
It's just, so it's not even like from a student welfare perspective, it's just ridiculous.
The field hockey team also isn't, they aren't majoring in athletic coaching, I have a feeling.
Right. Right. Also true. Also true.
You know, some of the majors, not all football players, not all basketball players, but I know a lot of them have that athletic coaching major that they are having, coached by Don Nealon, who was the coach for athletic coaching at West Virginia. That is a fact. That is a fact. When I was there, he was the teacher of athletic coaching.
Wow.
Yeah. So, oh God, it's ugly. But so do you think when this contract is up, like when this contract's up for the playoff, do you think that's when it just, whatever happens, it all ends? Because now after this, I don't think they're going to expand. The playoff expansion is going to happen. They're figuring out in the next couple of years how they're going to separate and, I don't know, blow up college football. That's what I think's happening behind the scenes right now.
Yeah. Like, are there like basically playoffs within each of these 2 super conferences, and then those champions eventually play each other? Or how do they, they have a problem with how are they going to mix up the divisions in the Big Ten? How are they going to do that? They have to, first of all, they have to put these teams in the West, because the East is way too stacked as it is. And they're in the West. But then it's going to be lopsided. So they're going to have to get rid of divisions in the Big Ten. I don't know if they figured that out yet. They're just going to have to get rid of it altogether. But yeah, I think you're right, Didi. I think they're not worried about how are we going to, in one, non-power 5, the best ranked one, and how are they going to play into it and how are we going to expand? It's how are these two conferences going to line up, and how are we declare champion between the 2 of them?
Well, there's nobody in charge of college football, so it's it's pretty impossible to predict. Yeah. I would say if I would wager a guess that ESPN and Fox probably have thought about what those answers are going to be, and we'll find out probably sooner rather than later. Yeah, because that expires in 2026, I think. So we got another 4 years of this, and it's who knows.
Yeah. God, it's gonna be a mess. But I think they should put Penn State in whatever division is with USC and UCLA, so they can at least maybe have a rivalry with someone.
Right.
Because God, it's like Penn State has no rival. They always try to have one. It's like
they think they do, and the other team's like, no.
It's like, no. It's like, we like going to your games. You guys like, your crowd's great. You guys all wear white and stuff. That's cute. But like, we don't care.
Have 3 other teams that we call rivals. Where you're number 1? I don't think so.
So yeah, maybe this is good for Penn State. All right, let's go into the main event. Joey Chestnut wins his 15th hot dog eating contest. Oh my gosh. Dan, go.
Oh, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. This was the flu game for Jordan. This was it. If you didn't know, and you didn't watch,
Christ.
See, you don't know. You didn't watch. You need to listen, my friend. You need to listen. He walked up there
heard
in
he was on crutches, which apparently affect his ability to eat food. Because the amount of people you see that have knee surgery and then can't chew. What an effort.
On your feet, it does. On your feet, it does. I think he had a broken leg, and then he had surgery, and then he had like tendon issues as a result of the surgery. It's been going on for a while. He hasn't been in many competitions this year. So everybody thought Joey's a little rusty. Could this be the year that Joey goes down? And no, absolutely not. He didn't come anywhere close to the record, but you know what? That's okay. He doesn't have to break his own record every year. 63 hot dogs, finishing 20 ahead of second place. So once again, not even close. 15 streaks of 8 in a row, 7 in a row. The guy is untouchable. He's absolutely untouchable. Do you wonder if and when he decides to hang it up and retire? But no one's even close to him. So he can go in there less than 100% and destroy the competition, because he was struggling. At the end, you can see he was not having a good time. But he's also 20 dogs ahead of these other schmucks, and it's not even close. So he's got to go. He's just got to keep going, because keep stacking up the belts, Joey. You're champion, ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Wow. Wow.
I cannot debate his greatness in the sport of competitive eating. It's not debatable. It is not debatable. But I feel like this was a year, we've seen this happen way too much at this point, where like just anybody can get on stage, and like maybe we should fix that for next year.
Yeah, that was weird.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Joey Chestnut like tackled just to let you know how, like Dan said, how big of a lead he had while eating hot dogs. He had the time to tackle a protester while eating hot dogs. Like, good Lord. Yeah, that was like a scary thing. All those moments are scary. I don't understand what are security guards doing? Like, I'm sorry, Joey Chestnut, what he does is exciting. I'm watching it on TV. But if you're a security guard paid to be security, what Joey Chestnut's doing is not LeBron James dunking from the foul line. Like, this is Joey Chestnut eating hot dogs. Pay attention to what's happening pay attention to what's happening around the stage, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a long stage. So there's 2 ways to get on it. The one side or the other side. And like, I've watched the competitive eating documentaries. I saw years ago, Kobayashi just jumped up there, and they didn't, I feel like didn't even like kick into action until like said the head guy with the hat and the microphone noticed something was going on. Like, what are we doing here? If the Tom Brady of hot dogs is up there, we got to protect Tom.
Yeah. You're right, Chris. You're right. Kobayashi did make his way up there years ago when he wasn't in the contest. And so that should have been the only lesson you learned from that. The only one.
Yeah. And
this psycho guy gets up next to Joey. It wasn't seen on TV, but there's clips going around. We'll share the clip. And it's the most unbelievable sight to see. He's mid-competition and just throws his arm around this guy, chokes him out, pulls him down, and gets back to business. How does this happen in this day and age when you have the greatest of all time up there? That alone, add 10 dogs to the total.
But so, yeah, the other thing to mention is, like, once again, the entry points are limited to get on this stage. And Joey is in the middle. There's like 10 people eating on either side. So this guy just like walked past everybody. Yeah. Not only did he get on stage, but he walked past 10 other competitive eaters up to the guy with the hat. The guy with the hat didn't notice anything until he got in front of Joey with his little sign. And then people said, like, come on.
Yeah, there's a ton of people on that stage too. Like behind each eater, there's somebody throwing the numbers. And like, again, so there's a lot. Nobody saw this guy. He just went right. He obviously didn't blend in. If you could see what he was wearing, he did not blend in, but this could have been bad. We need some ultra security next year. Just ridiculous, New York.
I'm going to offer 3 free months of coaching up to 5 people who are willing to train to be security at the next hot dog eating contest, July 4th, 2023.
Yeah. Protect Joey.
I feel like there should have been just, I don't know how you can be lax in security after what happened with Dave Chappelle at the Hollywood Bowl. Like, yeah, that should tell you that you can literally get in, like a crazy person can literally get anywhere. If you can go on stage where someone is having a show at a humongous venue, not some little small thing, the freaking Hollywood Bowl, and then somebody went up there and tackled him. Like, you can't, like, how can you be security and not be like, and be lax, especially for the hot dog eating championship? How can you, I don't know. I feel like security.
And that's only 10 minutes too. It's 10 minutes. Yeah. It's not 3 hours. Yeah. It's not an hour. It's 10 minutes that you have to do your job. It's wild, but I just can't get over the fact that Joey just went right back to it. That had to affect him the rest of the way. He didn't really speak on it, but you got to be thinking, like, looking out of the corner of your eyes the rest of the way, like, holy cow, this is just absolutely insane. But the GOAT still comes out on top each and every time. That's why he's Joey. I mean, very true. Roman Reigns should be stripped of the WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship right now, and that also should have been the other belt they handed to Joey Chestnut, the mustard belt and the WWE Universal Championship, for that fantastic move. It was great.
God. All right. Well, before we get into music, I have something I need to. It's going to roll right in. It has to do with Joey Chestnut and Usher.
Game.
Have you seen Usher's Tiny Desk concert? Have you guys watched it? Oh my God. Well, yeah, that's going everywhere, but it's incredible, right? It went by so fast. And I was like, this is effortless to Usher. And then about 15 hours later, I'm watching the hot dog eating contest, and I'm like, this is just effortless to Joey Chestnut. So Joey Chestnut and Usher they shocked me with how effortless they were doing what they're just so great at. And if you watch the Tiny Desk and you watch the hot dog eating contest, you'll be like, wow, Usher and Joey Chestnut, GOATs, man. Just effortless.
One and the same. Effortless. I love
Usher, Tom Brady, Roman Reigns, Dave Chappelle, Joey Chestnut, all the best at their craft.
Give me a Table for Five documentary. I just need those guys, one table, get the camera rolling. I love it. By the time you get out of it, there's going to be a song released called Effortless, and it's Usher featuring Joey Chestnut. Fascinating. I love that, DD. I love that.
You're welcome. Those are the thoughts that go through your head when you've been in a hotel room by yourself for a few days.
By the way, those idiots that think they can beat Joey that are eating the hot dog with bun and dog like the rest of us humans eat it, that's never going to work. That's never going to work. You have to remove the dog from the bun. Like, come on, amateurs. That was ridiculous. Oh, we didn't even talk about the lemonade chugging contest. Your favorite, Didi.
I don't know what's Derek Badlands or Eric Badlands?
Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw it once I found ESPN News. That was the first thing that was on, and I was like, wow, he's really chugging that.
Speaking of effortless,
dude, it was effortless. But after
scary.
They go to interview him right after he gets done chugging, and all he does is burp into the microphone. It was the best sideline post-game report I've ever seen in my life. Because he literally just got done winning. They're like, dude won. Put a microphone in his face. And they're just like, how do you feel? And then he's like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. But I was just drinking lemonade. Amazing. It was incredible.
It was incredible. It was like they set the world record for longest belch. He had to. It was just right then and there. Jason Fitz had to just breathe it all in. And it was, it's a sight to see. And it was pink lemonade this year. So even better. So congrats to all the winners.
Let's get to what we're listening to. Chris, what are you listening to, man?
I'm woefully underprepared for what I'm listening to this week. So I'm just going to rattle off the last 3 songs that I listened to, and that's what we're putting on the playlist. The first one is a band called Me Versus Hero, Days That Shape Our Lives. Lots of energy. I don't know what's been going on with me in training lately, but like I've had sessions where I haven't even wanted to listen to music. So I'm really searching. Maybe you guys can deliver this week for me. I need a pick me up music wise for the training sessions, but that song has a lot of energy and it helped a little bit.
Well, I got you with one.
All right.
When I went to the Burbank airport to come to Las Vegas, it was blasting out of the airport speakers for whatever reason. Music was blasting. You by Lloyd featuring Lil Wayne. I haven't heard that song in at least 5 years. Holy crap. Jam. Just put it on the playlist.
I saw you tweet that and I was like, what is Dee Dee up to?
Dude, I probably listened to that song 15 straight times after I got through, after I checked my baggage. I was like, oh my, I haven't heard the song forever. I'm just on a loop.
Wow. It's a serious throwback. Great call. Great call. Shouts to Bob Hope in the airport there, man. Whoever's throwing her on the playlist. It's fantastic.
Seriously.
First one for me is a collaboration I couldn't have expected at any point in life, but the Chainsmokers and Bob Moses coming together. Chainsmokers released their album a little earlier in the year and re-released it again. They added this track onto it. Why Can't You Wait? The Chainsmokers and Bob Moses coming together. 2 duos. Many people don't realize Bob Moses is actually a duo, and neither of them are Bob or Moses. So it's a great blend of these kind of like different dance styles that these duos have. One a little bit more alternative and the other more pop heavy, obviously with the Chainsmokers. And this song actually leans towards the Bob Moses side of things in terms of the sound, even though they're kind of like the feature artists here. But the voices and the styles, they work really, really well together, and I really dig it. So Why Can't You Wait by the Chainsmokers and Bob Moses.
All right.
Sweet.
My next one is from a band called Two Trains Left, which is a English-speaking pop punk band from Paris, France, and their song Power Lines. These are all going to be in the theme of trying to summon some energy. So that's my second pick.
I like it. All right. Good Love by Usher, the Joey Chestnut of R&B music, and City Girls. It is a great song, super upbeat. Video is cool too. A lot of roller skating in the video. City Girls doing what they do. But great song. Usher, City Girls, Good Love.
Amazing. Another collaboration, Two Friends and Mod Sun, very popular on the what we're listening to playlist. Came together and created a song called Time Bomb. And it's like exactly what you'd think it would sound like when you have this like DJ duo team up with a really talented and like in the music right now, pop punk voice like Mod Sun. It's really catchy and it's just really embracing what's happening a lot in music right now. So really, really dig it with Two Friends and Mod Sun coming together for Time Bomb.
That's a great song. I love that song. I actually thought it was going to potentially like sample Blink because Blink had a song that it was like, Time Bomb, but it didn't.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, very good song. The last one I have is from a band called Major League. Their song Seasons is actually not energetic at all. It's an acoustic song. And once again, I've been searching, guys. I've been searching for that right vibe lately, and I'm struggling to find it. But this is a great song.
Rod Wave is a R&B singer, but what he does is very different than traditional R&B. But because I honestly feel like if he were white, they would say he was a country singer. I kid you not. Like, I love Rod Wave. He's got the song By Your Side that I just absolutely love. And yeah, I want to put it on the playlist. Check it
out. By the way, real quick, Usher 8 Grammy wins, Joey Chestnut 15 championships. Last one for me. Is a artist by the name of it's one word. It's Ren for short. And I got to see her and her band open up for the band Camino, who I got to see last week, who were tremendous live, by the way. They've been on the playlist a lot in the past too. But she was one of the openers and super, super talented. And she just released a song called Julian, King of Manhattan. And her album actually comes out this Friday. So I'm super excited to hear more from her. The first thing I thought of when I heard of her is she gives like serious Tate McRae vibes. Like her voice there's a lot of similarities in their voices. But this is obviously a little bit more alternative in terms of a sound. So the song is the reason it's named Julian King of Manhattan is it's named after Julian Casablanca, who is the frontman of The Strokes. She grew up loving The Strokes and just idolized him. So really dig her vibe. She's incredible live. She's coming back to Pittsburgh on a headlining tour in September. Probably have to go see her again. So Ren for short with Julian King of Manhattan.
Nice. Well, boys, that about does it for another episode of the Brunch Breakdown. Any final thoughts?
Oh, Chris, I thought you had
something.
You had something. I was waiting for it.
Let's bring back the Big East, boys. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it way back. Bring back the Big East.
That's right. Bring it back.
More hot dogs for everybody. I had a couple myself this weekend. It's just a great food, regardless of nutrition. And it's a great food.
The Big East is the Joey Chestnut of college football conferences. Yeah, I said that.
Football. You didn't mean to say basketball.
I said what I said, Dan.
That's the Brunch Breakdown. We're out.